Well, currently in the U.S., less than 1 of every 3 college students will earn their college degree. And the statistics are even more discouraging at community colleges. Only 1 out of 4 there will actually complete their education. Now, some of that underachievement is certainly money related, but some of it is due to the fact that here in the U.S., unlike other developed countries, there is little connection between education and the corporations that do the hiring, which is where I pick up my conversation with the director of Harvard Business School's Pathways to Prosperity. Now, we've talked a lot about education in the classroom. What does the role that industry can play in this?
Well, we think industry has to play a vital role, and industry can do several things. First of all, I mentioned the importance of career counseling. So industry knows what jobs they need. They can come in and talk to students about what jobs are available, what kind of skills you need for those jobs, what kind of compensation you can expect if you get those jobs. Secondly, they can help design real-world programs of study. Programs that are going to prepare you to succeed in the workplace from day one. And thirdly, industry can offer opportunities for apprenticeships or actual work-based learning, so you can learn what it's like to have this job. Here at Metro Tech, in this aviation program, many of the students are become apprentices, and they're working in this industry, finding out what it's like to tear down a jet engine or work on an airframe.
Now, I know this approach may be somewhat new to our generation, but when you mention apprenticeship, I kind of think back of the same type of education system we had in the 19th century, where people would apprenticeship under someone for a couple of years at a time.
Right. Well, here in Oklahoma, of course, Oklahoma was not settled by people so much living in cities as it was people taking advantage of the land grant. And so they would get land, build a ranch, and go from there. I can guarantee you that there weren't any ranchers in Oklahoma, at least not any successful ranchers, that told their kids that we're going to wait until you're 18 or 20 years old before you do anything around here. They were putting those kids to work, if they were lenient, maybe by the time they were 5 or 6. So they were getting lots of experience on the farm, on the ranch, really learning on the job from a very early age. And by the way, the education system was set up to complement that. That's why we have the agrarian calendar. You go to school during the wintertime, and the summer you've got off because you were needed on the farm. So that was a combination of work and learning. But unfortunately, as we've moved into the 21st century, we've often lost that connection. So it's all academic, and on the learning side, they're not getting any real world experience.
Now, you've talked about in your report a social contract with today's young people. Explain that to me.
Okay, well, I want to make clear that since we're here in Oklahoma, I'm not talking about socialism in any manner, shape, or form. What I'm talking about is let's bring together the key stakeholders in a area like Oklahoma City, the business leaders, educators, policy leaders, government leaders, and say, what do we need to do to prepare our young people to succeed? And certainly a key part of that success is, can they find a job? Are they going to be able to support a family if they get a job? And then figure out what kind of programs do we need to offer so they can fit into those roles.
What about those people that fear that technical programs can be a dumping ground for maybe people that come from low-income families or maybe are just low performers in the traditional classroom?
Well, let's break that down and examine that. First of all, if you come from a low-income family, okay, so you're making, usually you're living on less than $25,000 a year. As I said, right here in this program, the aviation program at Metro Tech, students are coming out starting at $50,000 a year. So right away, you're not in the low-income group anymore. You've already gone into the middle class. That's actually slightly better than the median family income in the entire country. So, it's certainly not a dead-end job in terms of income. As a matter of fact, it's a ladder up to success. And if you master this program and earn this degree, you can certainly go on and get further education as well.
Now, your report has certainly been greeted with a lot of enthusiasm. What happens from here? How does it get implemented versus just being a great academic study?
Okay, well, yeah, we're hoping that it is going to lead to real-world change. We're actually already seeing that happen in some states. In the state of Washington, for example, they're considering legislation right now that would mandate a lot more focus on career counseling and offering students multiple pathways. I was just in Illinois, which has unveiled a new program called the Illinois Pathways Initiative, which aims to really improve career education in high schools in Illinois. And they're going to get the business community directly involved in that. So we're hoping to start a national movement to give our schools a more real-world focus. Help students think about what they want to do with their life and give them the options to get there and learn those skills. And if we think if we can do that, we're going to have a much more successful outcome than we do right now. Right now, we're failing so many of our students. As I said, we're losing 1 million a year who drop out of high school, and we have the highest college dropout rates in the world here in the U.S. We're sending a lot of kids to college. Many of them drop out before they get a degree.
And just to be blunt, this is not only important for these young people, it's really important for our entire society in this knowledge-based economy.
It's vitally important. You know, people who talk about how are we going to get the economy growing again, how are we going to create employment, this is really, I think, a key part of the answer. And let's put it in historical perspective. During the 20th century, we were really a world leader in education. So if you look at what the average family made in 1900 and then go to 1999, a century later, the average family was 5 to 6 times richer, adjusted for inflation, as they were in 1900. So their wealth increased 5 to 6-fold. That's the average family, not just those people at the top. During the first decade of the 21st century, we actually saw the average family income drop in the U.S. So we're moving in reverse. And we think that this type of approach to education is going to help us reverse that by giving students the skills they need to succeed in today's economy.